Have you ever felt as though the world has become unbearably loud? The constant buzzing of devices, the endless stream of tasks, the pressure to always keep moving forward, faster, harder. It is as if silence has vanished from modern life, replaced by the ceaseless hum of urgency. And in this race, we often forget that the greatest victories are not born from speed or noise, but from stillness. Imagine standing at the edge of a storm. Winds rage, waves crash, lightning strikes. Yet at the center, there is perfect calm. What if that same calm could exist within you, no matter how fierce the storm outside? Perhaps your mornings begin not with peace, but with alarms, deadlines, and messages demanding your attention. You sip coffee not to savor its warmth, but to fuel your survival. At night, when the world finally quiets down, your mind refuses to rest. Thoughts of what must be done tomorrow, regrets from yesterday, fears of what might go wrong, all echo endlessly in your head. You try to distract yourself, to drown the noise with more noise, but deep down you sense the truth. It is not the world that must quiet down, it is your own heart. The ancient Stoics faced a world no less chaotic: wars, disease, betrayal, loss. Yet they discovered something that no storm could take away: inner tranquility. Marcus Aurelius, leading an empire at war, still wrote about peace of mind. Seneca, navigating political danger, reminded himself that true freedom is within. Epictetus, once a slave, taught that no one could chain the serenity of his soul. These men did not escape life's storms. They stood in the very heart of them, and through Stoic wisdom, they discovered unshakable calm. In this video, we will walk together with the Stoics, uncovering the timeless rules that lead to inner stillness. You will see that tranquility is not the absence of struggle, but the mastery of response. You will learn how to quiet the storm within, to find clarity when the world shouts confusion, and to carry peace with you into every battle of life. By the end, you will not just understand inner stillness, you will feel it as your own. Let us begin the journey. The first Stoic principle for inner stillness is simple yet profound. Focus only on what you can control. The world will throw storms, betrayals, and unexpected trials at you, but none of these belong to your command. The Stoics remind us, peace is born when we stop wasting energy on the uncontrollable and return to what lies within our reach: our thoughts, our choices, our actions. Epictetus once declared, "Some things are up to us, and some are not." These words are the cornerstone of Stoic wisdom. They cut through confusion and chaos, offering a clear map: where control ends, serenity begins. By remembering this, we stop fighting battles that were never ours to win. When Marcus Aurelius led Rome through plague and war, he faced decisions that could break a lesser man. He could not stop the disease or control the choices of generals, but he could master his own judgment, his own discipline, his own response. Like a ship's captain in a storm, he held the wheel steady, not by calming the sea, but by steering with clarity. His strength came not from command over fate, but from command over himself. In our lives, control often slips through our fingers. We cannot dictate how others treat us, the economy, or the storms of circumstance. But we can decide how to speak, how to act, and how to carry ourselves through uncertainty. Instead of scrolling endlessly through worries, ask, "What is mine to do today?" That question alone brings clarity. Master your sphere of control, and you will discover a peace that no chaos can steal. The second Stoic principle for inner stillness is acceptance of fate, what the Stoics call the more fati, the love of one's fate. Life will not bend to our desires. It brings both triumphs and tragedies, fortune and loss. The secret is not to resist the flow of life, but to embrace it fully. Stillness comes not by wishing the river to change its course, but by learning to move with its current. Seneca once wrote, "Fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling. Resistance multiplies suffering, acceptance transforms it." By learning to align ourselves with what life presents, we gain not only peace, but freedom. For what greater strength is there than to stand unshaken before what is inevitable? When Rome was struck by fire and famine, many despaired, cursing the gods and resisting their reality. But the Stoics observed differently. Disaster does not ask our permission. It arrives uninvited. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything thrown into it. The Stoic does not ask, "Why me?" but "How shall I use this?" Even tragedy can be material for strength if we choose to accept it. In our time, fate may come in the form of illness, failure, or sudden change. We cannot avoid these moments, but we can choose how to meet them. When a door closes, acceptance does not mean surrender. It means moving forward without bitterness. Imagine facing rejection not with despair, but with gratitude, knowing that even setbacks shape your strength. When you embrace a more fatty, life stops dragging you. You begin to walk freely with it. The third Stoic principle for inner stillness is mastery of emotion. The Stoics never denied feelings. They acknowledged anger, fear, grief, but they refused to be ruled by them. Stillness comes when emotions serve us, not enslave us. To be calm is not to feel nothing, but to choose wisely even when the heart trembles. Seneca wrote, "A man is as unhappy as he has convinced himself he is." The Stoics believed emotions are shaped not by events themselves, but by our judgment of them. Anger, fear, despair, these are interpretations, not inevitabilities. Change the story you tell yourself, and the storm begins to calm. When Epictetus was mocked or insulted, he remained unshaken. As a former slave, he knew he could not control the cruelty of others, but he could master his reaction. Like a rock unbroken by waves, he endured taunts with serenity. The Stoic strength was not coldness. It was the wisdom to stand firm when others were swept away. In our lives, anger rises at injustice, fear at uncertainty, grief at loss. These feelings are human, but they need not dictate our choices. Imagine pausing before responding to an insult, choosing patience over rage. Picture facing financial loss with steadiness instead of despair. Emotional mastery does not erase pain. It transforms it into clarity. In this practice lies the foundation of unshakable peace. The fourth Stoic principle for inner stillness is discipline of desire. We are often restless not because of what life withholds, but because of what we endlessly chase. The Stoics taught that craving more wealth, more status, more pleasure, leads to slavery, while freedom is found in learning to desire less. Stillness begins when we stop being prisoners of our own appetites. Epictetus declared, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." The pursuit of endless desire is an unwinnable game. Every gain creates new hunger. But when we master desire, we discover abundance not in things, but in freedom. True wealth is the peace of needing little. Seneca lived among Rome's wealthiest elites, yet he wrote endlessly about simplicity. Though surrounded by opulence, he reminded himself that silk robes and marble halls do not guarantee peace. He often practiced living with little, eating plain bread, drinking water, sleeping on straw, to prove that luxury is not necessary for freedom. By choosing less, he discovered more, a life unshaken by loss. In our world, advertisements whisper that happiness is one purchase away, yet the joy fades as quickly as it arrives. A new phone, a new car, a new status. Each one promises peace, but delivers only momentary relief. The Stoic path is different. Practice gratitude, simplify your wants, and choose experiences over possessions. Stillness grows when you realize, enough is already here. The fifth Stoic principle for inner stillness is the power of perspective. We suffer not only from events, but from the lens through which we see them. A problem magnified in thought becomes unbearable. The same problem, seen from above, becomes small. Stillness comes when we learn to rise above our narrow view and see life through the eyes of eternity. Marcus Aurelius advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Perspective is the shift that turns chaos into clarity, pain into endurance, and hardship into training. By stepping back, we shrink the size of our suffering. When Roman generals faced defeat, panic could spread like wildfire. Yet the wise commander looked from the larger view. One battle is not the whole war, one setback, not the end of destiny. Marcus Aurelius himself faced endless conflicts, but he reminded himself daily that he was a small part of a greater whole. By widening his vision, he found peace in chaos and strength in humility. In our lives, a missed opportunity can feel like the end, a single failure like a collapse. But step back. One exam does not define a life. One heartbreak is not the end of love. One mistake is not your destiny. Imagine zooming out, seeing your years as chapters, not single lines. With perspective, storms become moments, not prisons. And from this higher view, inner stillness returns. The sixth Stoic principle for inner stillness is living in harmony with nature. For the Stoics, this did not only mean walking in forests or breathing mountain air. It meant aligning our lives with the natural order, accepting cycles, respecting limits, and flowing with the rhythm of existence. Stillness is not found in forcing life, but in moving with it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Adapt yourself to the life you have been given, and truly love the people with whom destiny has surrounded you." The Stoic does not curse the seasons, nor rebel against change. By honoring the way of nature, peace blossoms even in hardship. The Stoics often compared human life to nature itself. Just as rivers overflow, storms strike, and flowers wither, so too do our lives contain upheaval and loss. Seneca reminded his students, "If you expect winter, you are not broken when it comes." The wise see life's seasons not as enemies, but as teachers. Nature is not cruel, it is consistent. Today, we rage against delays, resist aging, and resent uncertainty. Yet nature whispers, everything has its season. Stillness grows when we accept our place in the order of things. Practice patience like the farmer who waits for harvest, humility like the ocean that receives every river, and resilience like the tree that bends with the wind. In living with nature, we rediscover the peace we were always meant to carry. The seventh Stoic principle for inner stillness is service beyond the self. The Stoics believe that no one finds peace by living only for themselves. True stillness arises when our life is tied to a greater purpose, when we see ourselves as part of the human community. Selfish ambition creates endless restlessness. Service brings quiet strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bee." He reminded us that we are parts of a greater whole. Peace comes not by withdrawing selfishly, but by harmonizing our lives with the good of others. When we give, we receive stillness in return. When Rome was struck by plague, Marcus Aurelius did not flee into comfort. Instead, he shared the suffering of his people, opening granaries, supporting the army, and writing words of encouragement to himself. His strength came not from isolation, but from service. The Stoic knew, to live only for oneself is to live small. To serve is to touch eternity. Today, we are told happiness lies in self-promotion, in personal gain, in building our brand. Yet those who chase only themselves find endless restlessness. Stillness is found in giving, mentoring a friend, serving your family, contributing to your community. The paradox is clear. By lifting others, we rise into peace. By serving beyond the self, we find the calm we have always sought. We began in the chaos of modern life. Noise, urgency, endless demands. And we discovered, through the wisdom of the Stoics, that stillness is not the absence of storms, but the strength to remain calm within them. By focusing on what we can control, embracing fate, mastering emotion, disciplining desire, gaining perspective, living with nature, and serving beyond ourselves, we carve out an inner sanctuary of peace. The Stoics did not live sheltered lives. They faced war, plague, betrayal, poverty, and death. Yet they found a fortress no enemy could breach, their own minds. You too can discover this strength. No matter the chaos around you, you have the power to remain steady, to live wisely, to walk with dignity and calm. Stillness is not given. It is built, one choice at a time. Tonight, before you sleep, sit in silence for 5 minutes. Put aside your phone, your worries, your plans. Breathe deeply and ask yourself, what can I truly control? What must I let go? What is my higher purpose? This simple practice, repeated daily, is the seed of tranquility. From small rituals, great strength is born. This is the gift of Stoicism, to discover unshakable peace in a restless world. Carry these principles with you, and no storm will shake your foundation. You are stronger than you believe, calmer than you realize, and more capable than you imagine. This is Stoic Miracles, where timeless wisdom becomes living strength. Until next time, walk with stillness, walk with courage.